Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be providing a market analysis update on Sandbox, going over some very important support and resistance levels that you need to be watching out for on both the USD and the Bitcoin pair. So if you're new to the channel and you want to show some support, please do leave a like and subscribe. So I want to start off with the support level ranging from about 79 all the way up to around 90 cents. If we go back all the way to 2021, we can see how in March this was a very key resistance point and we rejected pretty sharply off this level. And if I take a measure move here, in just the following 13 weeks, we declined about 83%. So a very significant and harsh rejection. We then came back up and retested this later on in July, forming resistance yet again. And ultimately, we started to consolidate, holding these moving averages as support, and then we broke out and led this to a new all-time high and massive mania phase. So we've come back down, and in the short term, we are seeing how this is holding as support. So a very positive sign, and actually, this is probably something you want to see continue, right? So if we continue to hold this level as support, and we continue to consolidate above this, that is going to be a very positive sign, because losing this level would not be good. It would probably, in that case, lead us down to some of these lower levels, which I'll talk about in a few moments. But ultimately, the goal here, in my opinion, is for us to reclaim these moving averages. So if we go back again to 2021 in October, this was the level we held as support. We had these moving averages increasing, and the candles were just holding it as support every few weeks. And then ultimately, when we broke below this in 2022, we held it as resistance. We had a very key rejection here in March, and that led us to new lows. That led us to continue this longer term downtrend and retest the support level in orange. So if we are starting to come up here and retest this in the next few months, it is going to be a very, very important retest. And if we can reclaim it, ultimately, that will really add to the probability that I think the current low is in place at around 73, 72 cents. So if we take a measure move and we go back 20 weeks ago, we can see how the closing price was around $3. So this is going to continue to move down. This is an average, so it's going to be averaging closing prices from 20 weeks ago at $3 to today at around $1.15. So this is going to continue to move down, something like this, round off over the next few months. And it depends on when we do test this for the specific price level. So if we're starting to come up here today, that would correspond to around $1.80 retest. Now, if we were to test it, say, in September, that could be all the way down at $1.30. So ultimately, if we're starting to come back up to this level and reclaim this and get back above these moving averages, then that will be a very bullish sign. And something like this, where we're starting to consolidate above them, hold it as support, will really start to add to the probability, in my opinion, that the low is in at around 72 cents. However, if we're starting to reject, if we come back up to these moving averages and have another rejection similar to that of March of 2022, then my expectation is, at the very least, a retest of the current lows, and that could form some sort of double bottom, or that could lead us lower down to this next support region, which is at around 55, 56 cents. So if I just take a measured move over here, we can see how this was the key support level that held in March of 2021 following this rejection. We held it for a few weeks, and then this was the range low of the consolidation period in the summer of 2021. Now consider that we did hold this as support for approximately 14 weeks. And this was also in confluence with these moving averages. So it was this dual support that held and ultimately led us to this mania blow-off phase. So if we are starting to lose this support region around 79 all the way up to 90 cents, then I do expect a retest of this low around 55 cents to hold as support. And eventually from there, we might be able to reclaim these moving averages after that. So again, it is going to come back. It is going to depend on when we do retest and reclaim these moving averages. And I think it's very important to note how, they're historically a very important level and indicator for long-term trends, both bull and bear markets. When we are seeing price action above, we can see a consistent uptrend, a consistent rally, and in the event of a correction similar to that of the summer of 2021, we can see it hold as support, and in the event of a decline in a retest, we can see it hold as resistance. So this is something we absolutely want to be above. And actually, if I switch over to the USD, if I switch over to the Sandbox Bitcoin chart, you can see a similar story here where we rejected off of these moving averages and formed lower lows. So we had a key rejection here in March of 2022, and basically that led us to lower lows. And currently we are retesting this, consolidating below it. If we can start to reclaim these, that would be absolutely positive, right? We would see Sandbox start to outperform Bitcoin because that's what this ratio tells us, and that could lead a lot of strength into the USD pair. Now we continue to reject off of this and we start coming back down, forming lower lows, then my expectation is a continuation of this longer term downtrend, and really it wouldn't look anything out of question if we have something like this, because ultimately it would just be yet another rejection off of this longer term downtrend, and it would ultimately just kind of have a similar and consistent look to the trend that's already in place. So if we can break this downtrend structure, reclaim these moving averages on the Bitcoin pair, and break this general downward sloping resistance, that's an absolutely positive sign, and that would lead me to believe that we are going to be starting to outperform Bitcoin, and that's going to bring a lot of strength into the USD pair. Now, if we are starting to reject again and retest these lows and form lower lows, then my expectation is a retest of this very key support level around 0.00002 on the Sandbox Bitcoin pair. And this is sticking out to me because this was kind of this double top here in August and July of 2021. We had resistance here twice, this dual rejection, and then we came back down in the following few weeks, forming this pretty large 55% correction. So that's the end of my Sandbox analysis. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you have any comments, suggestions, or feedback, please do leave those below. And as always, I will see you in the next one.